Right now, it's Six Music's artist collection. Blur.
I'm Stuart Maconie, welcoming you to Parklife, the Blur story.
I can remember working with Damon on Britpop.
What you done?
Up until then, every time we put out something different, everyone goes, "Oh, blimey, it's completely different." And then we put out Britpop, people saying Blur have reinvented themselves, and then everybody started reinventing themselves. It was like, oh, if you're not reinventing yourself, you haven't arrived.
We've always been in competition with ourselves, I felt, It's sort of, whenever we achieve something, we kind of get really annoyed with ourselves for having achieved it and try and do something completely different.
Graham was going through one of these periods of I hate Alex, I hate Groucho Club, I hate everything that he stands for.
It was nothing at all personal. Actually, it's one of Blur's strengths, I think. He was wanting to be in Jan and I was wanting to be in Gang of Four.
And when she lets me slip away, she tells me all my
What was harder actually to get vocals for was song 2. The vocals are actually on there now. I think about 75% of it is the guide vocal that was done while we were doing the backing track. David tried to write other lyrics and tried to change things, but we couldn't get away from what he'd written while he was doing his guide vocal. The woohoo is universal, isn't it? I mean, it's like and it just stuck, and there's nothing else that could kind of replace it, really.
chain store, practically flawed. One of many zeros kicked around board.
I would like to think Graham would come back to the fold, but I'm not necessarily sure it's going to happen, to be honest. I would love him to come back.
To people who never really care how you are. So give me coffee.
All that to come. But last week, we left Blur at the height of their Britpop fame. Parklife went quadruple platinum in 1995, which, as Alex James said, means that if you get on a bus, someone on that bus has got your album. Equally popular, indeed more so by now, were Mancunian Beatle enthusiasts Oasis. The rivalry turned unpleasant, though, via some nasty remarks from the Gallagher brothers. Blur and their camp were considering when to release the flagship single from Parklife's follow-up. Angered by Oasis, Blur and label Food decided to cry "Bring Them On" and chose to put out their new single on the very same day as Oasis' long-awaited new release, August the 14th, 1995. The result was a kind of collective national insanity, not seen since the days of the Beatles and the Stones, or possibly Who Shot JR.
Successful fella thought to himself, oops, I've got a lot of money. Caught in a rat race, terminally. She said, don't let anybody get in your way.
I don't like Oasis, so I was always gung-ho for Blur all the time, even though I thought Country House was one of their worst records.
Lives in a house, very big house in the country. Watching afternoon repeats and the food he eats in the country.
The Gallagher brothers, being as they are, they can be a little bit edgy, and I think there was a situation where perhaps a couple of things were said that really did upset Damon in particular.
Again?
It's funny because they were always pretty cool towards Graham for some reason, but they like to kind of rub up Damon the wrong way a fair bit.
It drove Damon up the wall more than he let on.
They had a go at Damon for his education when he went to the same school as Graham, so I didn't quite understand that.
Firstly, I thought as a marketing exercise and as a sociological phenomenon, I thought it was brilliant because it did almost get it to 60s levels of excitement, and I thought that was genius. I also thought, Damon saw that as a really good thing to do. He could see, I had a vision of doing, and he did it. I think he did as much for Oasis as he did for him. and it created a lot of excitement.
I think people sometimes were a bit snobby about it, with this sort of supposed north and south thing, saying they were public school boys, which they're not.
It was a buzz seeing it reported on ITN News or BBC News, you know, the fact that there's going to be the singles war or whatever. I thought it was a bit silly, to be honest.
But leaving aside pop star tiffs and tabloid tittle-tattle, who was the subject of this Umpire Fest #1? Step forward former Food Records boss David Balfe, who had in no small part bought his country pile with money from the success of Parklife. This was said to have grated with Damon Albarn, who responded with the acerbic ditty.
He's got morning glory and life's a different story. Everything's going Jack and Jory. In touch with his own mortality. He's reading Balzac, looking back closer. It's a helping hand.
I never read Balzac. I do live in a very big house in the country, and it's lovely. As the story goes, Andy still had the food office, and I turned up one day. He sort of pointed at a cassette on his desk, and I picked it up and glanced at it, and it had Country House written on it. I said jokingly, "It's not about me, is it?" And Andy had this sort of pained expression on his face, and like, "Oh, it is about me." And so stick it on then. And my entire experience of it has been 99% flattered.
I thought that song was great until we put Umpire on it. It was quite a rough little song, really, and then it was umpired out of existence. So it turned into me something that thuggish, thoughtless people would be into rather than anyone who liked music. And the video did exactly the same, so I still hate it.
I think what really tipped Graham over the edge was the terrible video they made for Country House. For me, the Country House single was Ray Davies, it was Kinksy, and it had that kind of charming Englishness about it. But when they made that video, it went from that into Benny Hill.
I'm hoping one day to get a blue plaque on my house saying it's the only house in England, as I'm aware, that has a #1 single written about it.
It just became this enormous albatross, all the silliness that was going on at the time. Let's have a record war. You know, so it's tainted by that. But it is fascinating that Noel Gallagher does live in a big house in the country.
Just for the record, Blur, of course, won that chart battle. The air traffic controllers told Dave Rowntree that he was #1 as he asked for clearance, flying his light aircraft back from a holiday in France. Country House's parent album, The Great Escape, was released at the end of the summer. The initial response was ecstatic from journalists and fans alike. But as Oasis's stock rose, so many critics tried to distance themselves from Blur. The Great Escape, it was said, was an artistic false move, too clever by half, for the new vogue for cigarettes, alcohol and northern bluster.
That whole idea of The Great Escape being a disaster, I don't think it actually was the disaster that it was made out to be, and I'm actually being able to get back to it and enjoy it a lot more now.
Crowded room where people go to drink away their gloom. He sat me down and so began the story of a charmless man, educated the expensive way. He knows his Clara from his Beaujolais. I think he'd like to have been running cry, but then nature didn't make him that way.
I think really everyone was generally quite happy with the making of the record. I mean, obviously Graham would kind of come in with these kind of lo-fi American kind of garage records and say, I'd like it to sound a bit like this or whatever. But then sometimes if you've got a song which is, say, country house, there's no way in a million years I can produce that to sound like that. You know, it's just ridiculous.
The thing about you saying the Great Escape, I know there's a certain kind of Stalinish rewriting of history now where it's a disaster. But I think
I didn't see one bad review of that record.
No, I didn't either.
At the time, not at all. But there wasn't enough balance in the reviews. It was over. It was almost sycophantic.
But I described it when we did the Greatest Hits as your Baroque period.
Totally. Yes.
Which it was that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, like you said, if you wanted a 40-piece orchestra, one would be there within the hour.
Yes. Well, we'd be getting itchy half an hour, and we'd an hour, and we'd be going, where are they?
Talks at speed, he gets no sleep, he doesn't see his days are tumbling down upon him, and yet he tries so hard to please. He's just so keen for you to listen when no one's listening. And when you put it all together, there's the model of a childless man.
One of the highlights of The Great Escape is undoubtedly the Universal.
It was one of the magic studio moments when Damon suddenly picked out that little string motif.
This is the next century, where the universal's free. You can find it anywhere. Yes, the future's been sold.
If Parklife had been a romantic view of ever decreasing Englishness replaced by an American model, then The Great Escape was really damning and kind of a quite pessimistic view of what happened to the country and what was going to happen. That record is actually our darkest record, I think, by far.
Yes, it really could happen. The days they seem to fall through you, well, just let them go.
It was at the birth of the lottery, and a lot of the things that it deals with have become, in a way, sort of part of the culture. It was quite a prophetic record.
Is alone. Satellites in every home. Yes, the universal's here for everyone.
We were kicking it around for ages, and we demoed it in a kind of calypso style.
The Lilt Man.
Yeah, it was. It was totally tropical.
Says tomorrow's your lucky day. Well, here's your lucky day. Really could happen.
For the first time, if we wanted a 40-piece orchestra, they'd be there within an hour. That, for a while, was exciting, but with hindsight, I think what we are essentially is people who should play together.
Despite the enormous success of The Great Escape, the band, and especially Graham, who was most uncomfortable with celebrity status, felt a change of direction was needed, away from the elaborate parables and 40-piece orchestras and back to basics, a fact even illustrated in the next album's title, simply Blur.
After The Great Escape, I think Damon took on board Graham's misgivings about the way things were going, and there was a general consensus that really the next album had to be different. I was very, very pleased to hear they still wanted to work with me, but they wanted to go about recording in a different way. I always remember having a meeting in a pub with Damon and my wife Sarah, and we're just discussing places, somewhere we could go different through the recording of the record. And Damon was very keen to go somewhere that was uncharted, and Sarah joked, what about Reykjavik, Iceland, you can't get much further north or, cold than that. And it was like, well, actually, it's not a bad idea.
And when she lets me slip away, she tells me that all my problems nothing is wrong. I just slip away.
The boys had just finished a big tour at the time, and Graham was not happy about going off to record somewhere. Graham was in a very funny frame of mind anyway. He didn't want to go back in the studio with the guys. In fact, I can remember Damon giving me a call one night asking me to go and meet Graham and talk him into coming back into the studio to start work on the album, because Graham was going through one of these periods of I hate Alex, I hate everything that he stands for. I had those meetings with Graham, managed to kind of talk him round, and we kind of started the sessions in London. But then halfway through the album, we took the tapes and disappeared to Reykjavik for a couple of weeks. And that's where Damon did a lot of the vocals for the record.
Me slip away.
I can remember working with Damon on Beetle Bump, and he put his vocals down on it, and I compiled the vocals that night. Came back the following day, put on the tape, listened back to what we had done the previous night, and was absolutely blown away. I was sat there thinking, this is a really special piece of work, and that to me really sticks in my mind. I just love that song.
Up until then, every time we put out something different, everyone goes, oh, it's completely different. And then we put out Britpop, people saying Blur have reinvented themselves. And then everybody started reinventing themselves. It's like, if you're not reinventing yourself, you haven't arrived.
We've always been in competition with ourselves, I felt. Whenever we achieve something, we try and destroy it. And we kind of get really annoyed of ourselves for having achieved it and try and do something completely different. I'm not interested in repeating myself. After the fallout of Britpop and the way that it developed into a very kind of bland experience, and the bands got more sort of anodyne, and everything lost its edge very quickly. I suppose it was quite an edgy record.
We were really moving forward musically, but for everybody else it's kind of quite a change in perception of Blur, I think. No longer were we just being bloody arty and awkward by constantly doing and undoing things. We were kind of reinventing ourselves, and it was suddenly a positive thing to do.
But the irony was that even when Blur consciously turned their back on glossy pop stylings, the result was the biggest hit of their career, and a song that America, of all places, fell in love with.
As we've got older, the music's got simpler and better played, and we've been able to play it with more feeling.
What was harder actually to get vocals for was song 2. The vocals are actually on there now. I think about 75% of it is the guide vocal that was done while we were doing the backing track in London. David tried to write other lyrics and tried to change things, but we couldn't get away from what he'd written while he was doing his guide vocal. You know, the woohoo is universal.
just went with how I did it first time. I just find it a very exciting way of working when you don't really know what you're saying.
The furrow that we've been ploughing had really completely run its course. It was like a success in America was something that you had to achieve.
I've always found pressure in this group because we started ourselves as quite a thinking pop group, really. And it was quite a relief to record things like Song 2 and actually have them as singles, because it's just actually an expression of breaking free from that pseudo-intellectual BS.
On the back of Song 2 and Beetlebum, another UK #1 single, the Blur album was a global success, not just commercially, but in reconnecting the group with their adventurous roots and away from the fag end of Britpop. Damon pointedly distanced himself from New Labour, who'd been courting him throughout the Cool Britannia era. As thoughts turned to a new album, though, it was time for another break with tradition, and this time not one that producer Stephen Street expected.
After the Blur record came out, they were doing their tours, and I went to see them play at Brighton. I think it was the last gig of that particular tour. And Damon took me to one side and said, I just want to tell you that we're going to go in the studio early next year and start recording the next record, but it's not going to be with you, Stephen. I was pleased he had the guts to tell me himself rather than through the management or whatever, or through the record company. But I was a bit hurt. But at the same time, I could understand, I'd made 5 albums with the guys, and a band as talented as they need to spread their wings. I couldn't say it didn't hurt, but at the same time I understood.
The death of the teenager, standing on his own. Why did he bother? Should have slept alone. Another
I think Damon was burnt out by the whole media attention too. I mean, he and Justine were like the prince and princess of new wave and Britpop or whatever. It was just ridiculous,
Damon's long-standing relationship with Justine Frischmann of Elastica was almost over. The Dying Glove affair and the dark mood of the times is a clear influence on the sound and texture of 13, produced by the band and William Orbit and named after the tiny rehearsal studios Damon rents in a West London unit. The sadness and exhaustion is most evident on No Distance Left to Run.
It's over. You don't need to tell me.
I don't think anyone is at their creative best when life is too easy. That's just one of the cruel facts. You're given a great gift in one way, but to sort of channel that gift, you have to face up to adversity.
I won't kill myself trying to stay in your life. I got no distance left to run.
We recorded No Distance pretty much as it is. We just reviewed it with posher guitars and amplifiers.
The original demo for that had a feeling. I mean, I do find a heck of a lot of stuff becomes self-fulfilling, you know, and that was a kind of sort of at the beginning of a particularly bad period and was finished off at the end of a particularly bad period. And in between, I didn't go back to it and finish it off because I was in the middle of it. You'll be very careful when you write songs. They're gonna, you know, if they've got magic, they tend to inflict it upon you.
But that was the first thing we did for 13, No Distance. And I know that kind of captured the mood of the whole album.
It's over. I knew it would end this way. And I hope you're with someone who makes you feel that this life is the life.
Plaintive Oh My Baby's On Tender was sung by Graham Coxon. Another song from 13 showcased the guitarist putting his stamp on coffee and TV.
Well, it's only a bit of a stamp, really, because I didn't write that song. I wrote the lyrics and sang it because I was very fond of the backing track we created. It just reminded me a lot of some American good things. That sort of rhythm that seemed very defunct. And we were one of the people who started using it again.
So give me coffee and tea. History. I've seen so much, I'm going blind and I'm brain dead virtually.
But it took me a long, long time listening to it and wondering whether I could do it.
It's hard enough for me.
It was doing it live, really, that was the cause of concern for me. But I did want to, and I was just a little bit reticent, because I love singing.
Start over again. Do you go to the country? It isn't very far. There's people there who will hurt you because of who you are. Your ears are full of their language. There's wisdom there, you're sure. Till the words start slurring and you can't find the door. So give me coffee and TV. History. I've seen so much, I'm going blind and I'm brain dead virtually. Sociability is hard enough for me.
Graham had by now become established as a solo artist too, with 4 albums to his name, reflecting his love of music as diverse as hardcore skate punk, modern jazz and folk. Always the most restless personality in the band, 2002 found him still struggling with a sporadic drink problem and uncomfortable with some of the band's new musical directions. Things came to a head in October 2002 when Coxon was sacked from the band. According to him, it was something to do with my attitude. Although I felt I was going about my work honestly, perhaps they mistook honesty for attitude. But even he acknowledged that I was always pissed off with myself that I wanted to drink. I was angry with everyone. The Blur boys had to put up with me being completely insane with anger. I asked Blur, and some of those who share their story, is Graham Coxon gone for good?
I would like to think Graham would come back to the fold, but I'm not necessarily sure it's going to happen, to be honest.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think it'd be nice, and I suspect they do as well.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It would be impossible to rule that out.
You're the legal, aren't you?
But, you know, we're absolutely not banking on it.
Oh, no, I mean, no, I don't think anyone's kind of sort of holding their breath. But it's absolutely not something that we'd rule out.
Just don't think the kind of fame thing ever sat well on his shoulders. It just didn't, and he's just chucked it all in to do what he wants to do, which I think is quite cool, actually. I mean, it's a real shame he's not in Blur, I think. He had his on-off drinking kind of binges and things, which I don't think help matters. And I think the rest of the band tolerated it up to a certain extent.
Graham has his own demons, his own kind of views on what he needs to do in his life and wants to do. And I kind of feel that he's quite happy to be out of the Blur picture, as it were. I would love him to come back. I would truly love him to come back. But it's the same way, obviously, I felt about Johnny Marr and Morrissey. I mean, I really thought that Johnny would get back with Morrissey after a few years, and it didn't happen. And it might be the same situation here.
Gibson is only credited with one track on Blur's new album, Battery in Your Leg. Think Tank, though, is a daring and original record, recorded in Morocco, Devon and West London, and the new sound is partly due to changing musical perspectives and partly due to practical circumstances.
This is a ballad for the good time. So put a battery in your leg. Put a rock beat on the record. Let it stop there in your head. You can be
The fact that Graham wasn't around and there was a huge great hole in the sound where the guitars would normally have gone, even that was very, very exciting. It was a very different Blur sound.
But that, we had 2 months when there was absolutely not even a question whether Graham would or would not return. He just wasn't around. And we just got on with it. And after 2 months of intense work, he was sort of available again, however, sort of reluctantly. And we were already a quarter of the way through a record, and it just didn't work, you know. So it has to be seen as he's just not on this record, but he doesn't have to have left Blur at all, you know. I mean, he is on this record on one song. It applies in any kind of working environment. You have to respect the people you're working with, i.e. you turn up and do what you're doing, or you don't. That's how that one happened. Not really anything more sinister than that. It was just like we'd started, so we're going to finish this the way that we started it.
you can
But Think Tank is by no means a downbeat album.
The music on this record springs from quite positive and hopeful and warm feelings. It's the first record we've made that is grown up in that sense, you know. It's not driven by anger or bitterness or discontent. It is very, structure of it, of all the songs, is very formal. It's just unconventional.
Right.
There was a sense all the way through that we were trying to make pop music, but somehow forgotten how to make pop music, so I think because we had three different worlds in which we made the record, they just don't have that kind of focus that kind of sort of bright, sparkling pop music does. At one point it was in London, and it was in a very urban environment, and then it was out in the middle of the Moroccan countryside, and then it was in the sort of encroaching winter of Devon. It's a very elemental record.
sister and I love her tonight.
still on extremely good terms with the guys. I often meet up with them, just for a drink, or in fact Damon invited me down towards the end of the sessions for the last album just to have a listen. I think he was quite interested in getting some feedback from myself, and I was touched by that, the fact that he still cares to know what I feel about what he's doing, because obviously the guy is extremely talented. I mean, the Gorillaz thing he's got off and done in his own, and we all know how successful that's been.
Where's the love song set us free? Too many people down, everything turning the wrong way round. And I don't know what love will be, but if we start dreaming now, Lord knows we never clear the clouds.
It works when it's fun. When it's fun and we have a reason for doing it. It's a disaster when we don't have any reason, because I don't think we're not that kind. We're not those kinds of people, any of us, Graham included, who can do things without a reason. And I think one of the problems as well with Graham was that we woke up and we found that we had different reasons for making music, but I still think that the love of music is the same amongst us all.
Send a computer now, gone to the future, way out in space. And you've been so busy lately that you haven't found the time to open up your mind and watch the world spinning gently out of time.
Most of the people who were around when we started have fallen by the wayside one way or another. There's kind of no...
It's so cutting.
There's no...
Without saying anything. Terrible.
Who gets to make 7 albums these days?
Who wants to make... The point is, who really wants to make 7 albums? Who's glutton for punishment enough, or they want to keep going through that process? And the making of the music is the surprising and wonderful bit of the process, but the promoting a record... I mean, I can't imagine what it's like for people like Paul Maconie. Well, they just don't do interviews, do they?
I interviewed him yesterday.
Did you?
Seriously?
Open up your mind and watch the world spinning gently out of time.
Blur and Out of Time, an appropriate end to Parklife, the Blur story. Goodbye from us.
Cheers, Stuart.
Cheers, Stuart.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Stuart. Bye.
Out of time.
Goodbye, Blur.
Six Music's Artist Collection. Blur. Collection. Blur.
Yeah, I found nowhere. It got to know me. Never sleep all day. Spent the money. I haven't felt my leg since the summer. Don't come it never seems that way. You make me feel like no one ever will. So why do you call me until my heart is filled? You wear me down, my defenses are gone now.